Guys, if you don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, he's probably the most popular black man in the world. He was on the brink of signing a $100 million contract for his Club Shay Shay brand. And that was till a young lady named Gabrielle Zuniga came out and made all sorts of allegations of him raping her in her dupe shoot, Roski. And since then, there's been an alleged sex tape. There's been audio that came out. Like this stuff.
We got a spicy update
right here. Sorry guys. It starts right here where they're talking about the audio.
Bro.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did with the shit you did to me.
That is wild audio to come out. But what's even crazier, what's going viral right now is this woman, which is Shannon Sharpe's first accuser. But let's let her tell her own story.
The biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand.
Shannon Sharpe's ex, Michelle Evans, sued him in 2023, claiming he raped her during their relationship. The suit came to light again last month after Sharpe was sued for $50 million by a second woman who also claims he raped her. Sharpe has declined all claims in both lawsuits.
We met in actually the press room.
There you go. Where the white woman at?
Where the white women at?
At the Broncos, April of 2002. And, but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me and he started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on. I resisted for a while because, I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming.
He's very charming. Now, viewers may find this detailed content of the rest of the interview triggering or disturbing. These disclaimers are often for shock value. We know the title, so we know what the title is triggering.
Until the 2010 incident, and then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
What led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys? I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you.
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me.
Damn. Hey, polygamy, man. Why didn't you just be honest? Like at his caliber, him being honest, women don't care. But if you lead a woman on to make her think that y'all are monogamous and you're not, then she's going to have an issue with it, like this woman. This is not the Michelle from the leaked sex tape where he went live on Instagram.
And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me?
No, Shannon Sharpe responded to this lady coming out saying this with this statement right here is a while ago. I'm not going to read it all to you, but long story short, he alleges that she is out on probation because she became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon had no contact with this person for many years, and it is our understanding that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison for trying to delete her husband so that she could hopefully pursue a relationship with Shannon. So you have that. Let's continue with her plight.
So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day?
It was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no.
What, like, I get it, and maybe she's, obviously she's telling the truth or her truth. But sometimes the interview guys, hey, did he manhandle you during sex? Was it consensual when, during sex were you getting manhandled? Because what it looks like with the Gabrielle Zuniga case, based on the text message they released, they had a very hands-on relationship. So I can't imagine him just starting to be very handsy with his women. And I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, but I'm just like, what was their physical relationship like?
I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no.
Well, I'm sorry. How do you make someone perform drop neck on you? Like, I don't know.
And
had he ever beat you or hit you before that make you indicate that, hey, there will be serious consequences if you didn't receive him? I don't know.
I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard. I remember he got dressed and he knew what he did. And so, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And
why not call the police?
And then I wasn't going to do anything about it. Sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it, and there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, threats. He just was so worried that it would get out, and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept...
So why did you sue now? Like, if he wasn't going to do anything, why did you sue now? And this happened in 2010, guys, 2010.
Calling me at work. And when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away. And he said he was going to destroy me and he was going to kill me. And he told me he was watching me and all that. I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after, he doxed me and my address got out.
Now, I low-key believe that. I believe he would dox, because the only reason we know about Gabrielle Zuniga is because he just dropped her name. Now, if I'm Shannon Sharpe and I have to choose between banging Gabrielle Zuniga or dating a woman his age right here, I'm probably going to choose Gabrielle, right?
And I had somebody stopped by my apartment, which had a door that led right to the side. It was basically on the sidewalk. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up," screamed it at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And so I went in and I dropped it because also at my house, not my apartment, my house.
Wait. This does not make sense. This does not make sense. You have a protection order against Shannon Sharpe. Someone comes up to you, says, "Shut up, bish," and you drop the protection order?
House. At my house, they... And so I went in and I dropped it because also at the top of their lungs. And I had my daughter in there right there. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And so I went in and I dropped it because also at my house, not my apartment, my house, at my house, somebody came to my house and sat out front of, in the driveway while my daughter was there alone. Someone came to my house, someone came to my apartment. And after my daughter called me, that's when I went straight there.
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television.
What? Bruh. Okay, here we go. He grapes her. She escorts him out, gets a restraining order against him, gets harassed by fans allegedly, and then they talk again. You know, my ex tried to get a protection order against me. I fought it. She ended up dismissing it because if she would have took it to trial, she was going to owe lawyer fees. But I don't talk to her afterwards. I'm not like, hey, if I talk to her, it's just for our daughter. I'm not like, hey, how you doing?
He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV at CNN, and it was my job to put the videos from up to YouTube for CNN. That was part of my job. So I'm putting up this video, and here I see Shannon at my job talking about domestic violence, and the co-host mentioned that, oh, you had one that was just totally dropped, made it look like the police dropped it, you know, not that I had gone down and withdrawn it. It created a picture that wasn't accurate. And that was a very hostile work environment.
I'm going to ask something that might be a little...
Gosh, it's buzzwords. He come up there, he did a video, no contact with her, and all she had to do was upload the video. That's a hostile work environment. Look, guys, I don't know if he raped her or not, but I don't know if that would qualify as a hostile work environment.
Like sensitive or might sound insensitive, I should say. But I'm going to go ahead and ask it because it's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers. So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows. You know, Atlanta has a problem with corruption down there.
I can say this could be fair for celebrities. You come forward with that allegation, you better have cold hard proof. Because, you know, if you don't, you may just look like a crazy ex-girlfriend.
And I was too scared to go to the police. Because when this happens, you're in a trauma mindset. You're not in a, you know, every day you and I are talking here like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do that. No, you're like fear for your life.
But she also talked to him after the fact.
Traumatized. You're not thinking straight. You're having anxiety and panic attacks. And I was worried that he would, get a hold of this police officer, and who knows what would happen. And so it was just a decision, and it's a decision a lot of rape victims make, to not go to the police. They always say the woman is crazy.
Well, I'm just saying, she's not coming off very sane.
You know, hey, I might be at this point after everything I've dealt with. But back then, no.
See, the only thing I don't like about this interviewer is she didn't ask about Shannon Sharpe's response to her lawsuit. saying that she was on probation. Like, did you really try to kill your husband? Did you really go to jail for 3 years? These are facts that you can ask. You'd be like, oh, this is a fact. This is a fact thing. Did you go to jail? Did you go to jail for attempted deletion? Was the person you tried to attempted to delete was your husband?
I'm definitely not crazy. And to see him paint me the way that he did, first off, I'm not somebody crawling out of the woodwork to talk about my connection with him like he insinuated in his statement. I've been out. I've been suing him.
What's your message to his latest accuser, who's been doxing? What would you say to her if you can send a message to her?
I pray for you. I have been there.
Bro.
I've been dealing with this for 15 years,
Pray for
so
that.
I know what you're going through.
I don't know, man.
The argument was
This does seem very opportunistic. Coincidentally, Shannon Sharpe is about to sign a $100 million contract. And this comes out. Now this lady's doing an interview. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Do you find her credible? She said that she escorted him out after he raped her. She ended up getting a restraining order against Shannon Sharpe, only to drop it after she was harassed by a fan, and then considered a hostile work environment when he just showed up to film something for the company in which she worked for, and she had to upload it. I don't know. I think they definitely had intercourse. I'm not oblivious to that, but it's just some hoes in her story, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you next video. Peace.